Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is running for Congress in the 14th District of New York, and she's trying to take out one of the top-ranking Democrats in the country. In fact, I think he's fourth in line. His name is Joe Crowley, but we call him Corrupt Joe Crowley, for reasons that you might already know, but if not, I'll explain in a little bit. So she spoke to Cenk Uygur of TYT about her race, and let's see what she had to say.
The Democratic Party, sure, they attacked Donald Trump in a couple of different ways, and boy, does he have it coming. But the one thing that I think he's most vulnerable about, but that Democrats almost never attack him on, is corruption. The reality is he's serving his donors, and that's why he lied about the tax plan and how he was going to raise taxes on the hedge fund guys, but instead did the opposite. He said, he was going to protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, did the opposite, all for tax cuts for the rich. So an obvious line of attack that Crowley could do is look at his donors. That's why he's doing all the things that he's doing. Now, is there a good reason why Crowley might not take up that line of attack?
Of course it is. It's because Joseph Crowley shares the same pool of donors as Donald Trump. And this is the dirty little secret about certain Democratic candidates that take an insane amount of money from Wall Street, pharmaceutical companies, Wall Street lobbyists, and so on. It's that they all eat from and they all drink from the same well. And so the reason that we can't hit Trump on the fact that he takes money from groups like Blackwater and luxury real estate developers is because Joseph Crowley takes the same amount of money. And in fact, the thing that's ironic about it is that the largest tax giveaway to corporations and the 1% before the GOP tax bill was the Bush tax cuts that Joseph Crowley, in fact, voted for. In addition, he voted for Puerto Rico to be sold over to Wall Street last year under the Promesa Act. So this is a recurring problem, and it is happening in both aspects of government. And what we need to do in 2018 is to elect progressive Democratic candidates that don't take corporate money, because that is the only way that we are going to get true progressive policies that implement systemic changes that create prosperity for working and middle-class Americans.
That's 100% correct. One of the things that drove me crazy is that Trump packed his administration with Goldman Sachs people. This is a guy who, you go back and you look at the tape, he went after Ted Cruz, called Ted Cruz a puppet to Wall Street and Goldman Sachs. He went after Hillary and said Hillary's a puppet to Wall Street and Goldman Sachs. Now, he's not wrong about those things. In fact, he's totally right about those things. But he portrayed himself as, oh, I'm anti-establishment. I'm not going to listen to the donors. And then he used to give that bullshit about, I funded my own campaign. But that's not true. It's not true at all. But he got in there and he said, okay, now I'm going to do a complete 180. And not only am I going to be corrupt, I might even go above and beyond the corruption of Ted Cruz or Hillary Clinton. See, Ted Cruz and Hillary Clinton, they're slimy politicians, but they might be clever enough to say, oh, I'm going to do my corruption one layer removed. So you don't pick the Goldman Sachs guy to be in your administration. You pick the friend of the Goldman Sachs guy, who there's deniability there. Like, oh, what do you mean? This person worked in government their whole life. They're not a puppet to Wall Street. Now you dig deeper and you find out, of course, that person is a puppet to Wall Street, but it would require the digging deeper to get the answer. Trump skipped the middleman. He's like, just here, come on. Steve Mnuchin, you're in. Gary Cohn, you're in. Where's the debate? You're in. He's so corrupt, he picked the former president of Goldman Sachs. The guy who left Goldman Sachs, he got paid a $285 million exit bonus. And then he went into the Trump White House. I wonder if that $285 million is a payoff for him to maybe do something. Well, what happened is that guy ended up writing the tax plan. So you sit there and you wonder, wow, so strange. The corporate tax rate went from 35% to 21% at a time when corporations are already paying a historically low percentage of the tax burden. They gave corporations a giant tax cut. They, gutted the estate tax. It used to be you had to have $5 million in net worth to be in the estate tax. Now it's $11 million. So they found all these ways. Oh, the pass-through corporation tax cut, where instead of the richest people in the country paying 39%, you lower that rate to 37%, but you also give a bigger loophole where they can register as a pass-through corporation, and then they pay 30%. So all these tricks to cut taxes for the rich, and that was the point. And then they pretend like they're looking out for you. Meanwhile, over a decade, Trump's tax plan raises taxes on everybody making $75,000 a year or less. So it raises taxes on the poor and the middle class. It cut taxes for the rich and corporations because that's who they're working for. That's the point. And that's how corrupt he is. So for a guy who railed against Goldman Sachs, then appoints Goldman Sachs, then does exactly what Goldman Sachs wants, you would think one of the number one kinds of attacks coming out of the Democrats are what? Look at this Wall Street sellout. Look at this corporatist bitch, this hack, who's genuflecting at the altar of Wall Street's power when he said he was going to be the one to stand up to them. But almost no Democratic politicians are doing that. Bernie Sanders says a few things here and there. Ro Khanna says a few things here and there. The overwhelming majority of the Democratic Party, shh, mum's the word. Why? Because the Democratic Party is littered with corporatists, littered with people who take corporate PAC money. And then they turn around and they also vote in favor of the corporations. So you're not going to attack Goldman Sachs when that might endanger the next election cycle coming around and you getting a paycheck from them. You getting a contribution from them for your campaign. So you're not going to attack Trump on that. What are you going to attack Trump on? Everything that is not connected to policy. Oh my God, he used foul language. He said shithole. Oh my God, something, Russia. They attack him on things that don't link back to policy because they agree with him more on policy than they would like you to believe. But there's an answer. Alex Ocasio-Cortez comes around and says, they're all corrupt. Trump's corrupt. Joe Crowley corrupt. By the way, Joe Crowley is so corrupt. He left a debate on the House floor about regulation of Wall Street to go to a Wall Street fundraiser. He left a debate about regulating Wall Street to go take money from Wall Street. Then he comes and, wow, look at that. He votes for deregulation. Unreal. This guy is diet Republican. That's who corrupt Joe Crowley is. And by the way, also Joe Manchin, same thing. Dianne Feinstein, same thing. They also have awesome opponents. They have Paula Jean Swearengin and Allison Hartson. So you need to support these candidates because they're not fucking around. You know what Alex is running on? She's running on Medicare for all. She's running on a living wage. She's running on free college. She's running on getting money out of the system. She takes no corporate PAC money. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the actions. She said, I'm not going to take it because I think that's corruption. And it is corruption. So she's going to represent the people. So everybody needs to get involved, man. We can't lose to these guys. They're so beatable. Oh my God, they're so beatable. Go to Ocasio2018.com. Ocasio2018.com. Donate your time, donate money, whatever you can do to help, because if he wins, it would be ripping my heart out of my body and stepping on it. But if she wins, that is such a fucking message to Washington. We're tired of the corruption and the bullshit and the false promises and the wrong direction that's offered by Democrats and Republicans. The entire system is corrupt. You know, Congress has like a 14% approval rating. It's time to clean house. Why not clean house with people who are going to represent what you want to see, going to represent your vision, going to help regular people? And you know they're going to help regular people because their donors are regular people.